In a world where Nazi Germany won World War II, global economics wouldn't just look different, it would be unrecognizable. Imagine a world where Berlin, not Washington, dictates the flow of money. Today, we'll explore how the 21st century economy might look under a Nazi victory, who controls trade, what happens to America, and how power shifts between West and East. No Cold War, no Marshall Plan, no American century. Instead, Europe becomes an empire of efficiency, a vast centralized economic bloc stretching from Paris to Moscow. Every nation absorbed into a single industrial machine directed from Berlin. Factories run on strict quotas, trade routes dictated by ideology, not profit. Where modern Europe debates policy, this version of it obeys orders. In this world, the European Union is never born, because it already exists under a different name, the Continental Directorate. Borders fade, currencies merge, but freedom evaporates with them. Production thrives, creativity dies. Now imagine this. It's the year 2025, and the global reserve currency isn't the dollar. It's the Reichsmark gold standard. When the Allies lost, the Bretton Woods system never happened. No IMF, no World Bank, no American-backed global trade. Instead, Berlin created its own financial alliance, the Reich economic bloc. Every trade agreement, every energy contract, every bank transaction is pegged to gold, stored in vaults beneath the Reichsbank. Nations trade not with freedom, but permission. Without the dollar's post-war dominance, America's economy becomes regional, not global. The United States can't project power through finance. It's cut off from the arteries of world trade. And the phrase, "In God we trust," never appears on any currency, because the currency that matters now bears the eagle and the swastika. So where does that leave the United States? The once mighty engine of capitalism now reduced to an isolated powerhouse, technologically advanced but strategically irrelevant. Its markets collapse under protectionism. Its corporations vanish from Europe and Asia. Without the Marshall Plan or post-war reconstruction, the U.S. never becomes the world's banker. Hollywood fades. Silicon Valley never rises. Wall Street becomes a memory. Instead, America retreats inward, an economy focused on survival, not expansion. The Midwest turns into a fortress of agriculture and energy production, while the coasts drift into slow decline. Innovation continues, but without global influence, it's like shouting into the void. Picture the 21st century skyline of Berlin, glass towers branded not by Apple or Amazon, but by Siemens, BMW, and IG Farben Global. These corporations never broke apart after the war. They merged, absorbed rivals, and became the beating heart of a world economy ruled by the Reich. Research, development, and innovation all serve one goal: efficiency. Competition doesn't drive progress. Command does. When the state owns production, creativity turns into obedience. Factories in Africa, refineries in the Middle East, tech labs in Europe, all coordinated by a single economic command council. Workers aren't employees, they're assets of the state corporate machine. Now, let's look east. Japan, victorious alongside Germany, becomes the industrial twin of the Axis economy. Its empire stretches through the Pacific, but every major policy still answers to Berlin's economic directives. China, carved into puppet states, becomes the manufacturing basin of the new order. Cheap labor, rich minerals, endless farmland, the perfect foundation for industrial expansion without political resistance. India's economy, suppressed under Axis trade restrictions, never joins the digital revolution. Instead, it becomes an outsourced supplier of raw resources. Together, Asia and Europe form an unbreakable loop. Asia produces, Germany profits. Factories hum, but innovation stalls, because creativity without autonomy can't scale. Every empire runs on energy, and the Nazi world is no different. Without Allied interference, German forces seized the Middle East early, controlling Saudi, Iraqi, and Persian oil fields through puppet regimes. By the 21st century, those territories remain locked in a century-long peace enforced by the Wehrmacht Energy Corps. Oil prices, set in Berlin, gas pipelines, routed through Axis Europe, nuclear and synthetic fuels, patented by Reich Energy AG. This world never saw the rise of green energy or global climate agreements. Fossil fuels dominate because they guarantee dependence. Even emerging superpowers like Brazil or South Africa must beg for supply quotas. Imagine the 21st century without Silicon Valley, without open-source software, without the internet as we know it. In the Nazi-dominated timeline, technology evolves inside sealed laboratories owned by the Reich Science Directorate. Innovation exists, but only for surveillance, control, and warfare. Artificial intelligence analyzes loyalty, not market trends. Quantum computing is used to predict dissent, not to cure disease. Where our world celebrates creativity, theirs enforces compliance. The result? A civilization rich in machines, but poor in imagination. If you've made it this far, you're clearly not just watching history, you're questioning it. Hit like and subscribe. Now step into modern Berlin, a city of marble banks and digital vaults. The Frankfurt Exchange has eclipsed Wall Street. Global markets open and close on Reich time. American investment firms barely survive as satellite branches. Capitalism didn't die, it was nationalized. The euro never existed. Instead, the Reichsmark digital standard dominates every major transaction. Foreign nations trade stability for submission, locking themselves into the Reich's economic web. And just like that, financial freedom becomes an illusion, numbers controlled by ideology. In this alternate 21st century, inequality isn't a policy debate, it's law. Citizens of the Reich enjoy elite industrial privilege, high wages, subsidized housing, and access to technology. Outside the empire, the rest of the world functions as an obedient labor class. Africa, South America, and parts of Asia provide raw materials, food, and cheap manufacturing, while Europe consumes the luxury. The global working class never disappears. It simply becomes institutionalized. Borders divide people, but economics cements the hierarchy. There's no middle class, no entrepreneurial ladder, no social mobility. The Reich calls it stability. History would call it feudalism 2.0. In this world, the market doesn't serve the people, it molds them. Every billboard, every radio ad, every government-approved influencer exists for one goal: loyalty through lifestyle. Shopping becomes a ritual, not a choice. Owning a product means pledging allegiance. The Reich perfects what today's corporations only hint at: emotional control through consumption. Even leisure is weaponized: vacations to state-run resorts, art exhibitions glorifying industrial unity, films portraying efficiency as virtue. When desire itself is planned, freedom ends quietly. Economies boom, numbers rise, but individuality vanishes beneath propaganda's golden mask. Creativity survives on chaos. Here, chaos is treason. Without garage startups or rebellious inventors, the 21st century becomes a museum of perfected stagnation. Berlin's Ministry of Science approves every patent, every algorithm, every new idea. A supercomputer capable of predicting human behavior? Approved. A decentralized communication network? Banned. Without risk, technology loses purpose. Without competition, excellence loses urgency. The internet exists only as a monitored data grid, a mirror where citizens see themselves watched. Factories hum, data flows, and progress appears unstoppable, until it isn't. Because when innovation serves fear, evolution stops breathing. Across the ocean, the United States endures, but humbled. After losing global influence, it rebuilds behind its borders, turning into a self-contained technocracy powered by automation and nostalgia. Its economy thrives on internal markets: clean energy, robotics, agriculture. Yet, without global trade, it's like a brilliant mind locked in a small room. The American dream becomes literal, a story told, not lived. Still, underground universities keep teaching banned economics and free market philosophy. These thinkers pass ideas through encrypted networks, the last flicker of capitalism in a collectivist world. No system is absolute. Beneath the Reich's perfection, black markets pulse like hidden arteries. Hackers in abandoned cities trade digital credits. Smugglers ship contraband art and information. A secret economy forms, decentralized, anonymous, defiant. This network births the first truly free currency since the fall of the dollar, a crypto-style code nicknamed Phoenix Coin, symbolizing rebirth through resistance. The Reich brands it terrorism. Historians call it the start of freedom's second act. Even within total control, human instinct rebuilds capitalism, not for profit, but for connection. So by 2025, the world looks calm, clean, efficient. Skyscrapers stretch across Europe's industrial core. Trains glide silently from Paris to Moscow. Poverty nearly vanishes, not from compassion, but from calculation. Yet culture is sterile. Music is uniform, news identical, art emotionless. Education teaches precision, not philosophy. The human spirit, the unpredictable variable of progress, is gone. Germany rules global finance. Asia manufactures under command. America endures in isolation. The world is stable and utterly lifeless. That's the paradox of perfection. When everything works, nothing changes. Progress dies not in war, but in peace too complete to question. So maybe history's chaos, the revolutions, the markets, the mistakes, was our greatest invention, because freedom, unpredictable and messy as it is, fuels everything worth building. The Nazis might have won the world, but they'd have lost what makes it alive.